Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to NIEVS Homeschool. I am Rahela Ferdousee, Assistant Teacher, Day Shift. Today I am going to discuss a topic from Buzzword book for class 4. This is for class 4 and our today's subject is English Literature, lecture number 6. Today I am going to discuss a story from Buzzword book, Unit 3. From the book Buzzword Unit 3. Okay, now come to our lesson. Our today's lesson's name is Forever Green. Forever Green. My dear student, what do you think about forever green? That means the thing which is green forever, it's never be pale or it's never be dark. Okay, so what is that? So come, first warm up. With the change of seasons, most trees either lose or gain leaves. However, there are some trees that have the same set of leaves throughout the year. They are called evergreens. They are called evergreens. So which trees are called evergreens? The trees which have the same set of leaves throughout the year. They have flowers shaped like cones and hard spiky leaves to fight the cold. So what is their quality? They have flowers shaped like cones and hard spiky leaves. Now look at these trees. Can you guess which of them is an evergreen? Here is mahogany, poplar, shal, fir. Can you say which one is evergreen here? Yes, it is fir, because fir has the flowers shaped like cones and hard spiky leaves. Okay, in this story what we came to know? From this story we will know about the trees and their mentality, that what do they think about themselves. Okay, first read, then we will discuss again. As autumn arrived in the Himalayas, the trees of the forest become excited. They watched their leaves turn yellow, curl up and fall from the branches. Sprayed with colored leaves, the ground looked lovely. So with the arrival of autumn, the Himalayas becomes lovely because of its lovely nature, because the trees are decorated with their green leaves. The only trees who seemed sad were the evergreen firs of the forest. Why? Because fir doesn't lift its leaves, and as a result it doesn't have new leaves. They were the only ones on the slope who had prickly needles and did not shed any leaves in autumn. The other trees made fun of them because they were different. The shal and mahogany said they looked like porcupines with quills. That means here shal and mahogany is saying about fir that the fir tree look like porcupines with quills. The birds never made nests on their branches, and travelers never stopped by for shade. That means for these types of structure of fir, birds never made their nest on it and travelers never stopped by it. One morning, a young fir watched the poplar laughing with the other trees and remarked, "Just look at that silly thing. Why is she so happy? Once she loses all her leaves, she will look so bare." An older fir replied, "That's true, but I have heard they are mainly excited about next spring." "Next spring?" said the young fir. "Ha, let them first get through winter." So here the firs are themselves talking about the coming cold of the winter, that very soon they will leave their leaves and they will look so bare. That means they will lose their beauty of green. Now, when winter came, the ground turned white with snow and gentle flakes began to fall. Brrr, it's terribly chilly, isn't it? Shivered the poplar. I think I'm going to catch a cold. Could you please help me, Mr. Shal? I wish I could, said the Shal, but I too have been sneezing all night. What a pity, cried the evergreens as they watched these poor trees. However, none of them were actually sorry. All autumn they had been teased by these same trees. Now they were secretly enjoying themselves. They were thankful to Mother Nature for giving them a constant coat of warm leaves and strong branches. That means listening the conversation between Shal and Poplar that they feel so cold at night. The fir trees become so happy that they didn't have to lose their leaves and they don't have to feel cold, too much cold. Okay. As the days grew colder, the poplar's slender branches bent under the weight of the snow and snapped. This alarmed the mahogany. She turned to the young fir and said, I was always afraid for her because she was so thin. You two should be careful. Here the poplar's thin branches bent down for the weight of the snow, and this alarmed mahogany. That mahogany told to fir that she is always afraid for her because she is so thin and she may also lose her branches. The young fir, though, was not scared. With a quick shrug of the shoulders, she brushed off the snow and sprang back up. That means here she showed that she is not fear. She can easily face the cold winds of the winter. A few months later, in spring, the empty branches of the sal and mahogany sprouted pretty green leaves. But before the trees could admire their new dresses, a herd of goats came up the hill and nibbled at their branches. That means just when their new leaves were sprouting, at that time the goats came up the hill and nibbled their new branches, new leaves. The firs were worried that the goats would also come their way and hurt them. But soon they realized that the animals did not like prickly leaves. Once again they felt grateful. With joy they exclaimed, "Thank goodness we don't have such tender leaves. They are so easily eaten and broken. We may not have fancy new dresses, but in our own way we are lucky." The firs had finally understood something important. Instead of complaining and feeling jealous of the other trees, they learned to be happy with all that they had. From now on, they would always stand proud in their forest. So in last page what we see that whenever the fir sees that the mahogany and the shal's new leaves are being eaten by the goats, they came to understand, they came to realize that as they are evergreen, they are grateful to the nature for that, because the nature has given them the evergreen leaves, and as a result they never had this worry that any kind of animal would take their leaves or eat their leaves. Moreover, their leaves are spiky, so animals don't come to eat their leaves. Okay, so from this story, what can we understand? What can we learn? That we can understand that when we have something different from others, if though we sometimes think that this is not good for us, but actually this is good for us. And this is said by the writer here. They learned to be happy with all that they had. So from now we will also learn that what we have, we should be happy with that. So my dear students, you will read this story again and again, then you can understand the story very well. Stay well, stay safe. Assalamu alaikum.